You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Coming up, the youngest children can now receive the COVID vaccine, but not every local hospital has it in stock.
While the clouds kind of slow us down from warming up too fast, they also may bring us a little rain. The latest from the Skywatch Weather Center.
And we've got Chef Anthony and another special guest back in studio to help us chop up a salad with a little extra wow factor for you and your taste buds. All that and more coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. COVID-19 vaccines are now available to children as young as 6 months old, but not every local hospital has them in stock yet. While the vaccines are not yet available at Freeman, hospital staff say they plan to meet in a few weeks to discuss available options for children to receive the vaccine. Jessica Liberty, manager of infection prevention at Freeman, says it may be time to start having conversations with your pediatrician to determine if your child should be vaccinated.
So you would need to reach out to them to determine that. And I know that here in the next few weeks, Freeman will be meeting to discuss options available for the community for giving the pediatric vaccine.
Freeman pediatricians have already been getting calls about the vaccine for kids under 5. Joplin Fire Department held a ceremony for its brand new fire truck. The wet down ceremony was held at Fire Station number 5, where the fire truck received its first wash. The new aerial ladder truck has 107 feet of vertical and 100 feet of horizontal reach without compromising water capacity. The tradition also includes an opportunity for the community to push the truck into the bay after the wash.
Traditions of the fire service is what makes us uniquely us. I mean, it makes the fire service what it is. You know, otherwise you're just looking, at an empty delivery truck that's really expensive without the firefighters that go on it. So tradition is very important to us.
Ladder truck was funded through the public safety sales tax that voters approved in 2006. This morning, we're discussing changing sports team names. Latest, but probably not the last version of this debate, comes from the Chamberlain High School in Hillsborough County, Florida. Title VI Native American Parent Advisory Council requested the school change its mascot name from the Chiefs to something new, and their stance is that such names teach stereotypical, misleading, and often insulting images of indigenous peoples. When polled, over 50% of the students at the high school said they believed the mascot and past traditions were offensive. But the other side of the argument is the title is a symbol of proud tradition, and in recent years we've seen Major League sports teams in Cleveland and Washington change the names of their franchises under similar considerations.
Our question for you this morning: are you for or against changing team names? An overwhelming 88% say that they are against it right now, compared to only 12% that say for. And of course, each and every morning, KOAMnewsnow.com/vote will deliver you right to the poll. You can also hit us up on our Facebook page. Plenty of other additional information over there on Facebook, KOAM News Now.
All right. Well, Michael J. Fox is selected to receive an honorary Oscar award. The Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences will give him the Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award in November. It's both for his work as an actor and as the founder of the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's Research. Fox started that foundation in 2000, 9 years after he was diagnosed with the disease. The actor rose to fame in the 1980s when he starred as young capitalist Alex Keaton on the TV show Family Ties. He's also starred in several movies, most notably as protagonist Marty McFly in the Back to the Future franchise. Fox has won Emmy Awards, Golden Globes, Screen Actors Guild Awards, even a Grammy, but this will be his first Oscar. The award will be presented at the Academy Governor's Awards November 19th.
If I took out Back to the Future, okay, if I eliminated that, do you have another go-to Michael J. Fox movie?
Trying to think of which one would be my #1 pick. That's tough. I mean, Family Ties was obvious.
That's TV though.
Yeah.
I got one for you. I got a vastly underrated Michael J. Fox movie.
Which one?
Doc Hollywood.
Oh, yeah.
Anthony always comes in. What do you got, Anthony?
Secret to My Success.
Secret of My Success. Yeah!
For Love or Money.
Yeah, that was... don't watch that with the little kids.
But you
Yeah.
can watch Back to the Future with little kids. That's fine. It's family.
Yes, you
family
can do that.
friendly.
The only Michael J. Fox I have, my limited, Doc! That's all I got right there. Just yelling, Doc!
My favorite, I think, like, the scene that sticks in my head is when he, like, hooks up all the amps and stuff, like, right at the beginning of the very first one, and then he blows the big speaker. He just, like, pushes him back to next week.
Do you have one?
I do. Bright Lights, Big City.
Bright Lights, Big City is what Ron gave us there. See, we're uncovering these Michael J. Fox gems for all of you out there because everybody just immediately goes Back to the Future. We just came up with a Michael J. Fox catalog right there. Nobody said Teen Wolf. How about that? I was waiting to see if anybody was going to say that. Current conditions over 7th and Rangeline. You think back about that, Ron. A point in our lives, like Leah Thompson, Elizabeth Shute, we did, like, that was our introduction to them, was through Back to the Future. Isn't that something else? 74 degrees right now in Joplin, the cloud cover providing us with just a gorgeous Thursday morning start. So here's what we'll watch, excuse me, as far out to the far west. A little bit of this off of I-70 beginning to trickle into our far northwestern counties. Then we got some pop-ups that are just lingering right along the Kansas-Oklahoma state line. Those are not going to amount to anything. Nothing's going to be able to organize. And even as those do creep in, they've really dissipated over the western edge of southeast Kansas all morning long. I can kind of give you an idea about what we're talking about there. It's almost like we said earlier, it's almost like the four-state force field is popping up there on the western edge of SEK. And everything just pretty much wants to disappear. Skywatch Storm Tracker, nationally speaking, this massive heat wave throughout the southwest, southeast, all the way to the mid-Atlantic. You're going to have, you've got record breakers each and every day out there. You're going to have some 55 million people experiencing close to triple-digit temps by this weekend. And that will include us by this weekend. We go 91 today, 94 tomorrow, and then on Saturday, we'll throw up easily some hundreds. We will average out about 98, but remember, that's also going to feel in between about 103 to 107. Expect the reemergence of the heat advisories for Saturday as well, but we're going to follow that up with a massive cold front. It's actually going to drop us down to the 80s for next week. Be back with more KOAM Morning News. Chef Anthony stopping in the Studio K right after this.
Welcome back. We have a couple special guests in studio with us with Chef Anthony this morning. We've also invited Miss Aubrey Ross, the horticulture instructor at Pittsburgh High School, and Gracie, correct?
Yes.
Gracie, one of her students. Now, you guys are here specifically today to talk about why we have Dragon Farms products and how you guys are getting them.
Yes.
Yes.
So in November, we started purchasing a hydroponic farm. It's a vertical farm. You can see it on here. We can grow up to 2.5 acres of produce, and our main goal is to sell that back to the cafeteria. So we're doing things in the realm of sustainability, helping students become more food secure, and really teaching students about where their food comes from.
So what types of green products are you guys growing in them?
Yeah, so we have 3 primary crops. We have a green leaf lettuce, a butterhead lettuce, and a red lettuce, which I'm really excited about. It's beautiful dark red color. And then we're also experimenting with some other things. We have some basil, some kale, and some other herbs as well that we're working on.
And Chef Anthony is actually going to be preparing a salad today using the greens from the Dragon Farms.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we're really excited about this. This salad specifically, and then
You want to tell us what you're using from it?
I have olive oil, honey, apple cider vinegar, salt, pepper, and 8 ounces of strawberries. We're going to make a strawberry vinaigrette to go on top of this beautiful salad that was all harvested at the Dragon Farm. And I'm excited because very soon, next Saturday, it will be available to the general populace at Farmers Market.
That's right.
So it's going to be quite the adventure for everyone to come in and try things. So I've added everything into my food processor, and I'm just going to blend it up.
course, the fruit and what you're not getting that's green out of today's recipe is coming from Martinez Produce.
Correct. Everything comes from Martinez Produce except for the greens today, and I have red peppers, yellow peppers, strawberries, cucumbers, carrots are all going to go on top of our salad today. We're going to keep it nice and light and fluffy and tasteful all the way across the board. So we have lots of opportunities for us to express our flavors.
And Aubrey, you guys are teaching a class this summer that students like Gracie are helping you with, with the produce.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're getting first hands-on experience with everything from seed germination all the way through harvest. We're also doing things in our small greenhouse where we've got some pepper plants and some cucumbers and things like that. So really excited about giving these students an opportunity to learn where their food comes from and how to grow their own food to be more food secure in their life.
Now, I know getting like a big, you don't call it a trailer, you call it
it's a shipping container.
Getting like a huge shipping container like this it's not a small endeavor. Like this is a big deal for the school.
It's a huge deal. So we're one of the first high schools in Kansas to do something like this specifically with the freight farm. It's 320 square feet, but we can harvest roughly 2.5 acres worth of produce. So it really, if you think about it, takes about 5.5 acres to feed a human for a year. And so really we're producing quite a large quantity of food. And we're going to be able to sell it.
Shipping container takes up about 4 parking spaces or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, exactly. So the vertical farming allows us to not only save lots of space and agricultural ground, but it also conserves water. We only use about 10 gallons of water a day. We're talking about a 99% difference or savings in water from a traditional farm of the same size.
Plus, you don't have to fight against Mother Nature and all the bugs and stuff. Exactly. So then you don't have to use the pesticides that are on a lot of outdoor products.
Yeah, no pesticides, no herbicides. Everything is controlled by the computer. We really don't do a whole lot in terms of calibrating. We just check on the system every week, but really it's very organic, a very high quality produce.
This is awesome and a great opportunity for the kids as well to be able to experience this firsthand. Right. And I know there's a lot of like careers and stuff that they could go into in the future that deal with this kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is hydroponics in general is cutting edge farming technology. This is the way of the farming world right now. We're looking at a global food shortage. And so anytime we can provide local sustainable resources to produce food, it's just a win all around.
Well, thank you so much for coming in and joining us this morning.
Absolutely.
We're going to come back after the break and find out how this amazing salad actually tastes. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
And we got to put a few toppings on it too. All right, we'll be right back. Welcome back. We've got Chef Anthony in studio. We also have Aubrey Ross from Pittsburgh High School and Gracie, one of her students, here to talk about hydroponics and growing their own greens at Pittsburgh High School, which is an endeavor you guys took over the last year, and it's happening now. Yeah, which is really awesome. And right now, what's your output that you guys are getting in the greens?
Yeah, so Saturday we're gonna have about, I calculated about 300 ounces worth of produce. And so this bag right here is about 1.9 ounces. So this would be a nice size for a salad, or a couple hamburgers, something like that. So we'll have about 300 ounces
You have
ready.
enough to make 300 salads?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so and then if you would like to take advantage of some of the Dragon Farms produce on Saturday, July 2nd at the Pittsburgh Farmers Market, you can find a booth there with them selling their own greens, which is really awesome. Yeah. What kind of manpower does it take to keep it going?
Really, it's pretty easy. It's only about 20 hours a week, really. More with the amount of students that we have, we make more work out of it, but really it's a 20-hour-a-week job in addition to what we're doing in the classroom and what we're learning about and using our greenhouse for and things, so it fits right into what we're doing.
Okay. Well, and there is a possibility that you could grow other things, other types of produce as well besides greens, but
Yeah.
this is your focus, right?
Right. This is our focus because we want to be able to provide the high school cafeteria with a sustainable source of greens. But the freight farm can also grow flowers. It can grow strawberries, tomatoes, mostly leafy products. The big deal is knowing your fertilizer amounts. So each kind of product is going to require different amounts of nutrients, and so we have to grow things that are alike. So makes sense.
And that's something that's a learning experience for
Yeah,
other kids as well.
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
We have a beautiful strawberry salad.
Smells great.
The strawberry vinaigrette, we've added a little bit of red peppers, yellow peppers, strawberries, and julienne carrots to the top, and some cucumbers, and drizzled a little bit more after I tossed the salad into the vinaigrette. So we have lots of flavors going on here. It's going to be a little sweet, a little spicy, a little bit of everything.
It's so pretty. So many fun colors. Of course,
Composing
Martinez
is-
Produce supplied all of the fruits and veggies besides the leafy greens, but they do
Correct.
have leafy greens as well.
And the idea behind this is composing a salad. When you compose a salad, you're actually building it to your own taste. You can add cheese. This would be great with feta. You can add walnuts, craisins, just about anything you want to it, just to kind of help add a little bit more of whatever you desire. You could put smoked chicken on top of it. You could do anything that your little heart desires and build it. It's the idea behind a composed salad is just clean, pure, natural flavors that you enjoy.
All right, hand me another fork. Gracie is going to join me. And have you ate any of the leafy greens that you've been working on this summer? No, so this will be your first experience eating them as well. This is exciting.
Yeah.
I hope you like lettuce. All right, while we dig in, give us another tease for this weekend's big event that's helping to send your culinary students to Italy next year.
So join us for the barbecue out at the Dirty Mule. The QR code will be available on the website later today, or you can just call Simon Market and say, hey, I want to register, bring your registration fee out with you on Friday. We're going to have a meeting at about 5:30 on Friday where you'll receive all your proteins for it. And we're going to cook on Saturday. And judging starts at 2, but the event starts kicking off with family events and games at noon. We have a band coming from the high school to play, and lots of games and food. Join us for the open category. If you don't want to register and do the meat, bring something in and win some cool prizes.
What are the types of lettuce that we have in here, or the greens that we have?
Well, the purple is a purple mustard, and the other is just
It's just a green leaf lettuce. There's not really a specific name for it. What we'll be growing in the future will look a little bit different than this. This is kind of our starter crop. So,
They have a great flavor.
Yeah.
to them. They really do.
It's very clean, very pure. These were grown
Sometimes
yesterday.
some types of greens
Yeah.
get like a really bitter flavor, and I'm not seeing that
Yeah.
in any of these. Yeah.
that can be a result of temperature. It can be a result of the weather. It can be a result of fertilizer amounts. With our controlled environment, we can really dial that in so you get this nice fresh flavor every time.
This is delicious, and of course, the vinaigrette is yummy as well.
Good.
All right, nice job. What do you think? I like it. You like it? Good deal. All right, well, thank you two for joining us, and of course, thank you for joining us.
Of course. Next week, ice cream.
Ice cream. Ooh,
Yum.
that's something to look forward to. All right, and we'll have more details about the Pittsburgh Farmers Market and where you can get your own Dragon Farms leafy greens. We'll be right back.
In Health Watch this morning, a new study finding long COVID does not discriminate based on age. Moderna says its updated COVID-19 booster is performing better against Omicron subvariants as the company released data on its bivalent booster. It has not been published in a peer-reviewed journal. However, Moderna says the new booster contains components of both Moderna's original COVID-19 vaccine and a vaccine that targets the Omicron variant. Company said it's working to complete regulatory submissions in the coming weeks to try to have a supply ready in August. The FDA's Vaccine Advisory Committee is set to meet next week to discuss COVID-19 vaccine boosters for this fall. Researchers looked at 44,000 children from infant to 14-year-olds in Denmark, specifically looking for general ailments like headaches, mood swings, stomach problems, fatigue, and memory or concentration issues. The 11,000 children who contracted COVID-19 were more likely to have at least one of those symptoms for 2 months or more. 1/3 of them developed at least one long-term symptom after getting the virus. Researchers say this shows that while children getting long COVID is low, it's still a possibility. That study was published in the journal Lancet. A Florida dog living up to the adage of being her owner's best friend, Leonard Linton, is now a millionaire because of his pregnant dog, Ivy. Linton says he took a different and quicker route home after receiving a call that Ivy was not feeling well, and that road led him to a convenience store where he purchased a $10 scratch-off game and won the $2 million grand prize. Of course, he claimed his prize with his lucky pup by his side. Wait. We were trying to get home quicker because the dog was ill, so we took a shortcut, but we still had time to buy the lottery ticket. Got it. Okay. Be back with more KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 right after this.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:29. Let's take a look at today's top stories. Authorities arrest a Springfield, Missouri couple accused of abusing their son in ways that might be considered child torture. A probable cause statement says Joseph and Peggy Flores would put their teenage son naked in a puppy cage with 2 dogs, pour urine on him, and hit him with an extension cord as a form of punishment. Authorities say the parents would refer to their son using racial slurs. Investigators think the abuse began in March of 2020 when the boy was homeschooled during the COVID shutdown of Springfield schools. A precautionary boil water advisory is issued for residents around South Joplin. It was issued after a water main break caused water pressure to drop in the affected area. The advisory affects about 150 customers. Some area teachers earned some extra money to fund their classroom. Western Governors University awarded 9 Southwest Missouri teachers grants as part of their Fund My Classroom initiative. The grants totaled more than $4,200, and each grant for the teachers ranged from $100 to $1,000. The money will be used to fund classroom projects that foster learning in new and unique ways. And a new program is helping Missouri businesses and farmers receive loans with lower interest rates. On Wednesday, Missouri Treasurer Fitzpatrick met with American Ramp Company in Joplin to discuss the benefits of the program called MoBucks. Now, MoBucks is a linked deposit program using state funds and allows businesses to be able to afford necessary equipment and materials at a discounted interest rate. With this program, the American Ramp Company has been able to update some of its equipment, purchase a new laser, and is working on building a new break room.
Really, at the end of the day, it's not a handout to the business. The business is trying to buy a piece of equipment, or they're trying to add on to their building, or they need a cash flow loan to finance the growth they're having. Whatever it is, they're responsible for paying that loan back.
Missouri business owners or farmers can talk to their bank to learn more about the MoBucks plan. Joplin Fire Department holds a ceremony for its brand new fire truck. The wet down ceremony was held at Fire Station number 5, where the fire truck received its first wash. The new aerial ladder truck has 107 feet of vertical and 100 feet of horizontal reach without compromising water capacity. The tradition also includes an opportunity for the community to push the truck into the bay after the wash.
Traditions of the fire service is what makes us uniquely us. I mean, it makes the fire service what it is. You know, otherwise you're just looking, you know, at an empty delivery truck that's really expensive without the firefighters that go on it. So tradition is very important to us.
Ladder truck was funded through the public safety sales tax that voters approved in 2006. Well, nothing beats the heat quite like a big splash of cold water. The Chanute, Kansas Fire Department contributed to the fund by spraying down kids participating in water wars in Chanute. The event also included all kinds of wet and wild water games. The Chanute Public Library organized the whole thing as part of the summer reading program. The idea is to create some fun and some goodwill between kids and the library.
I really hope that they have a positive association with the library and that this is something that they'll remember when they're adults, and they'll think, hey, I remember going to the library and I remember having a really good time at that water event. Let's go to the library with my kids, and then we can keep that cycle going for generations.
Water Wars was not just for kids. The fun was open for people of all ages. Well, a trio has found a way to beat the heat thanks to the Oregon Zoo. The zoo posted this video on social media showing their river otters taking a break from the high temperatures by playing in a bucket of ice. The post called them Triple Rascal on the Rocks. As you can see, the otters named Tilly, Flora, and Hobson had a lot of fun. They live in the zoo's Cascade Stream and Pond exhibit in Portland. According to the National Weather Service, Portland, which is in Northwest Oregon, if you didn't know, will be hit with its first heat wave of the season this weekend.
This is obviously done on purpose.
Well, okay, so as Michael hinted at during our last show, this is his last Fox morning show with us. And we have a long history of otters and Michael's love of otters. And I didn't know our producers were planning an otter story for you. So this is your this is your chance to put this lovely story that's dated from 2015 up.
I'm pretty sure the behavior hasn't changed in 7 years. This is an article that was written by Dylan Matthews of Slate. If you're interested in reading it, the title is "The Case Against Otters, Necrophiliac Serial Killing Fur Monsters of the Sea." After you read it, folks, don't read it to your children. Take it in as an adult.
While Michael was reading about otters, the most read things on the website at this time were about Game of Thrones, Jon Snow, and the Targaryen dragon rider theory explained, so.
Because this is way more important.
Yes.
And folks, when you go to a zoo, after you read this, when you go to a zoo, you will, that's so well done, Tim. That is why that dude is incomparable right there. Look at that. The Oregon Zoo's not going to be happy with me. I know, what are they going to do?
That video is not from 2015.
That is not.
No.
That is not.
I'm
exclusively reporting that.
Trying to cool off with ice.
I am not,
fun.
I also too am not, I am not convicting those otters of aforementioned headline crimes. In all probability, though, nature is nature, is nature, is nature.
Look at his eyes. What is he thinking?
I just wanted to see if the otters are going to pop up there when I went back to SkyCare. All right, over 7th and Rangeline is where we sit, 74 degrees right now. All right, we're starting to pick up some little pop-up activity out here to the west, northwest, filtering into Greenwood County right there. Got to remember, Greenwood County picked up almost 4 inches there yesterday, so a little additional rainfall. No lightning with that. And this one over here that's hovering at the Kansas-Oklahoma state line, it keeps on moving down to the south, so that really shouldn't play a role with us at all. Anything that we do see today, it just pops up and it's in and out. So it's nothing severe, nothing organized. Don't let it cancel any of your plans. Be prepared for temperatures in the low 90s later on today. Should be done with this by Friday morning. And after that, lock in for a little heat wave followed by a cold front. So let's go 94, 98 Friday, Saturday, and then 80s all the way to the middle of next week from Sunday through Wednesday. Be back with more KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 right after this. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. Pleased enough to be joined again, honored actually, to be joined again by Emily Frankowski of Connect-A-Culture. Connect-A-Culture, the organization in Joplin, based in Joplin, but brings us a number of events and activities throughout the M4 states that really do enrich our daily lives, and I want to thank you for that. Earlier, we talked about a hymnal revival with organs. We've got camps for kids. You can check that out all on their website. But I want to turn my attention to something coming up here at the end of July. JomoCon. And whenever I see anything ending con, immediately like what my mind goes to, because of the proliferation that we've seen of these types of things throughout the entire 4 states. So when I saw JomoCon, the first thing I was like, what's going into this one? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, everyone knows about the Neosho Art Con that goes on, and JomoCon is a new, con festival.
Okay.
And basically they did it during COVID. That's kind of, they started, unfortunately, they had to have an online version, but now this is going to be their first JOMOCon in person, and they're kind of taking over Virginia Avenue in Joplin.
So we're going to do like a block party.
It's going to be indoors, but they have 3 different venues that are along Virginia Avenue. So Changing Hands Bookstore, as well as Central Christian Station, or not Station, Central Christian Center and Pennington Station.
Okay.
And so they'll have activities, throughout the day. You can dress up in, your various
That's
attire.
the fun of it, right?
That is fun. I don't know what I'm going to dress up as. What would you dress up as?
Doug Hetty.
Doug Hetty? Okay, well, we'll see how he likes that. We won't tell him.
That's between you and me, Emily.
But it's July 30th, 10 a.m. to 7. There'll be a variety of different things, graphic novelists there with their, books for sale. You'll be able to meet them, different things like that. It's $10 a person, and children under 5 are free. So it's definitely, if you have a young one that's interested in comics or in graphic novels, this is the time to bring them to something like this.
And 2 great things about it: the fact that, excuse me, you're running it from 10 to 7, and you're not making me squeeze everything into a 2-hour time frame. That's just phenomenal. I've got all day to do it. But so some of the artists, they're actually going to be there, and I'm able to talk to them about their works.
Yes, definitely. They'll be there on hand, so you can meet them and talk about how they got into it, and even, maybe buy some of their books or different things like that.
See, if you're an aspiring artist, or maybe your child is one, they may find that absolutely fascinating. Are you familiar with the movie Chasing Amy?
I am not.
Okay, don't call anybody a tracer when you talk to the comic book people, okay?
Tracer.
Don't use that. They shade. It's called shading.
Okay.
We also have an exhibit going on that begins at the end of July, and this is why I wanted to cap this off, because it actually starts the same day as JOMOCon, but this is going to run all the way through October. It's called Reflections of Joplin.
Yes.
When I think about that, I think about, are we going back in the past? Are we going?
We are, a little bit. So this is an exhibit that has been in the works for a couple of years now, and it's all centered around celebrating Joplin's sesquicentennial, or 150th birthday. And so the artists at Local Color have had different classes to teach, people in the community, and all their artwork is themed around, reflections of Joplin. So that's either, maybe encapsulating their architecture, historic architecture in Joplin, the lead and zinc kind of mining past that we have that led to Joplin becoming a boom town, or even significant people in Joplin's history. And so you'll see paintings of different media, as well as potentially sculptures that are, all themed around this reflections of Joplin.
Well, congratulations to you and your organization. That, like you said, this is how long have how long have you kind of been efforting this?
Yeah, Local Color has been working on this for a couple of years with the Centennial Commission that the City of Joplin has put together, which I get to sit on. But they've been working on that, and then Spiva has been working on it as well. And so what's really great about the arts community in Joplin is that we all are, we're small, and we all love to work together to collaborate and make great things like this happen.
Well, another thing that's great about the arts community is the majority of the events and whatnot that you bring us, just like the one's reflection of Joplin, it is free. It is open to the public, and once again, that's the Spiva Center for the Arts. Actually begins July the 30th, but folks, it runs all the way through the end of October. And as I always like to leave, how do we find this, more information? And you have such a great calendar to check out as well.
Yes, so go to connecttoculture.org with the number 2 in between, connecttoculture.org. You can take out a look at the calendar, or you can also just sign up for emails, and we'll send all that information to your inbox every week.
Oh, so you'll actually get that way if something new hits the calendar, I know immediately.
Exactly.
That's true. That seems like the way to go, folks. E. Frank, I want to thank you so much. I want to thank Connected Culture for everything that you do. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Good to see you.
We'll be back with more KOAM Morning News right after this.
In Consumer Watch this morning, President Biden calls on Congress to suspend federal gasoline and diesel taxes for 3 months. He also urged states to pause their own gas taxes or find ways to help reduce the burden of soaring gas prices. At stake is the 18 cents a gallon federal tax on gas and the 24-cent tax on diesel. The so-called gas tax holiday will need approval on Capitol Hill, where even Democrats have expressed reservations. After easing from an all-time high, the national average for a gallon of regular is hovering close to $5. Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve Chairman, returns to Capitol Hill today. On Wednesday, he told the Senate Banking Committee the Fed will hike interest rates fast enough to tame inflation while working towards a soft landing to avoid a recession. Under questioning from Democrats and Republicans, Powell said the economy could see a downturn if borrowing costs rise too high. The U.S. Patent and Trademark Office has approved the Ohio State University's application to trademark the word "the." Okay, the school says it allows Ohio State to control the use of "the" on branded products associated with and sold through athletics and collegiate channels. University spokesman says "the" has been a rallying cry in the Ohio State community for years. Not "the," it's "the." The university's licensing and trademark program brings in more than $12 million of revenue for the school every year. "The." There you go. We'll be right back with more after this, but first, let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
We take this time to honor this morning's four-state hero, Specialist Megan Widner. The native of Scammon, Kansas, served in Iraq as part of the 891st Engineer Battalion, Company A, as a combat medic. To Specialist Megan Widner, we salute you this morning's four-state hero. Elvis Presley's life and career now the subject of a new movie that's hitting theaters this week. Our man, Rick Damigella, with an inside look.
Come back, baby, I won't play Halloween. Well, listen, I'll tell you, baby, what I'm talking about.
Austin Butler channels the king of rock and roll in Baz Luhrmann's Elvis.
Come back, baby, come on.
Butler put extensive effort into creating his performance.
It was a little over 2 years. It was something as an actor of an intense fascination with this man who was just a little kid who came from nothing, who then becomes the most famous person in the world.
Action! My whole mission is to get something out there that people all want to come to the theater and commune together. Now, I could not have made this movie. I said I wouldn't if I didn't find somebody to play Elvis, and I honestly didn't think I would. The way that Austin came to me, the way that he was found in the role, I can tell you one thing. For 2 years, day and night, and in his sleep, he was Elvis.
He was my destiny. I wish to promote you, Mr. Presley.
Tom Hanks transforms himself into Presley's Svengali, Colonel Tom Parker.
I mean, Tom is he's just the best. He really surpassed every idea that I had about him. He was so kind. He's such a great leader on set. Like, everybody around him, he just lifts the morale.
In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
It'd be pretty interesting because you got Tom Hanks playing Colonel Tom, but you also got Maggie Gyllenhaal is in the movie as well. Now here's an interesting one. Austin Butler actually sings the majority of the songs during the film, which means this movie is instantly going to put Austin Butler's singing ability up to that of Joaquin Phoenix when he did Walk the Line about Johnny Cash. Because if you remember, Joaquin Phoenix and Reese Witherspoon, they did all their own singing in that, and they won rave reviews for it. So that's kind of, I think that'll be what Austin Butler's singing is kind of judged up against, since he did the majority of the songs. Elvis hits theaters on Friday. Let's go to the Skywatch Storm Tracker, where we're looking at a little rain coming in from the northwest. You know, even with the lightning tracker on, this is very similar a line that we had yesterday morning. But you remember yesterday, it not only intruded upon our counties up to the north, but also too is throwing down some pretty good lightning. Lightning very limited right now, and these are just sporadic rain showers in Greenwood County. Greenwood, of course, at one point in time had a flood warning yesterday. We won't see that emerge today. The rain stayed very, very light. Everything that's developed here from Wichita down to Ponca City, just on the other side of I-35, it keeps moving to the south. So it's really not going to have much westward intrusion upon us. Nationally speaking, that is kind of the bullseye right there. There's not a whole lot else going on. Rain-wise, there certainly is heat-wise. Right here, you go from about West Texas. Cut us out of the mix for today. We'll be in it for tomorrow. But cut us out of the mix for today and then stretch around to the Mid-Atlantic. They're breaking records left and right in that area over the weekend. You're going to have some 55 million people, and that will include portions of the 4 states. 55 million people this weekend are either going to be in heat advisories or excessive heat warnings. With that being said, it's pretty limited for today. We don't have anything to worry about other than a gorgeous, gorgeous Thursday start with pretty mild temperatures, 72 to 76, cannot beat it. This afternoon, when we do hit our peak hours, about 91 is where we'll top out. Best shot for those isolated rains when they do pop up, really say between 2 and 5. There you go, right there. Popping up in between 2 and 5, and then moving out shortly after sunset. Friday, here comes the warm-up. 94 on Friday, 98 on Saturday. Saturday is going to be our scorcher, but Saturday night brings us a cold front, drops us into the 80s for next week. Be back with more KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 right after this.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Here's what's happening today. The House Select Committee investigating the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol holds its 5th hearing today. The committee will detail former President Trump's efforts to pressure his own Justice Department into spreading his false claims about the 2020 election. Committee Chairman Benny Thompson says the next 2 hearings will be held in July. School District Police Chief in Uvalde, Texas is placed on administrative leave. Pete Arredondo was the on-scene commander during the school shooting that left 19 children and 2 teachers dead, and has faced calls to resign by the families of the victims. 6 people are dead after a helicopter crashes in West Virginia. The Bell UH-1B chopper, better known as a Huey, went down Wednesday afternoon in Logan County. The Federal Aviation Administration and the National Transportation Safety Board are investigating the crash.
Temperatures up into the low 90s. If you've got any time this morning to get outside, please do enjoy it. It's wonderful right now, and even this afternoon, not too oppressively hot. That does change in scope by the time we get to Friday, as it's going to warm up into the mid-90s, and then the heat wave gets us Saturday up around 100 degrees.
Well, Britain's Queen Elizabeth is honored with a special award from the Church of England. The Archbishop of Canterbury presented the Queen with a special Canterbury Cross for her service of more than 70 years to the Church of England. Archbishop Justin Welby also gave a citation for the cross during a meeting with the Queen at Windsor Castle on Tuesday. The gifts were also presented in honor of the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. 96-year-old royal is the longest-serving British monarch.
Is the Jubilee not over yet?
It should never be over. I think it's fitting that we have a Queen of England story at the end of the newscast, because at this point I get to talk about 2 of my favorite people, and one of them, of course, everyone knows is the Queen Elizabeth, and the other one?
You're
Michael
too
Hislop.
kind. Give everybody a little backstory here. It's fitting that we wrap this up on Fox 14, because that is what brought Tanya and I together. Fox 14 News at 9 is what brought us 2 together. Absolutely fell in love and adored the woman. The first time we ever went out to lunch, said this person's going to be great here in the 4 states. The 4 states are going to be great for her. I'm so happy that you were able to come here, raise a family, and find great success here at KOAM and Fox 14. Wouldn't have had it any other way.
And
I made a good decision on that one.
I think you did. I think you did. I've enjoyed my time here with you, Michael, that's for sure. I'm not leaving, but you may be moving on.
Yeah,
And,
it's like I tell my kids, it's a big world, and when an opportunity arrives, sometimes you got to jump at it. It's a scary thing to do. Sometimes you got to go ahead and take the plunge.
you know, everybody's going to ask. You can tell what you want on air.
I'll be moving down to the southeastern portion of the United States and staying in the TV industry, getting off air. Middle management, people pusher.
Well, we wish you the best.
Thank you.
We wish you the best, definitely. Of course, we're going to have you today at noon, though.
I'll be back at noon.
All right.